I sit cross-legged on the hardwood floor of my parents' living room in Portland, surrounded by shredded wrapping paper and the artificial pine scent of Christmas morning. My sister Chelsea twirls a set of shiny BMW keys in her manicured fingers, the metal catching the tree lights as she spins around like a teenager, even though she's 32. She squeals with excitement, bouncing on her toes. "My own BMW!" she cries. Dad looks at her with unrestrained pride, while Mom clasps her hands under her chin as if she's witnessing something extraordinary. Outside, the car waits in the driveway, a glossy white display of devotion, topped with an oversized red bow that probably cost more than all of my gifts combined. Meanwhile, I stare down at what sits in my lap, a plastic piggy bank shaped like a cartoon character I outgrew decades ago. The price tag still clings to it, $1.99. "Open it," Mom encourages, pointing to the small rubber stopper. My fingers feel numb as I do. 2 crisp dollar bills fall out. "It's the start of your future home fund," Dad says with a dismissive wave. "You've always been good with money, unlike some people." He winks at Chelsea, who pretends to look offended. The silence stretches until Mom fills it. Chelsea needs reliable transportation for her design clients. Those creative types expect a certain image. Chelsea drops onto the couch beside me, her expensive perfume clouding the air. She pats my knee gently. "Don't worry, sis, I'll drive you around if you need. That little Toyota of yours must be on its last legs." That same Toyota carried me over 7 hours of mountain passes yesterday. The Toyota I finished paying off 3 years ago. The Toyota that's proven more reliable than any relationship in this family. I can't breathe. 34 years of moments like this flood my mind with sharp clarity. This isn't unusual. It's the pattern of my life. This morning, I had carefully wrapped their gifts. A leather briefcase for Dad that cost 2 weeks of salary, the silver bracelet Mom once admired in a Seattle boutique, and the professional camera lens Chelsea had casually mentioned. I'd saved little by little from every paycheck for months. During the drive from Seattle, I had practiced my announcement. Senior structural engineer, the promotion I had earned through years of late nights and weekends. I imagined their faces lit with pride, finally seeing me as more than Chelsea's responsible older sister. At every rest stop, I whispered to myself, maybe this Christmas will be different. My hands tremble as I set the piggy bank on the coffee table, its hollow plastic clattering against the glass. "Excuse me," I say, though the voice doesn't sound like mine. Bathroom. I walk, don't run, up the stairs past the gallery of family photos, nearly all of Chelsea. I close the bathroom door and twist the lock. My reflection stares back at me, dry eyes, composed face. I press my palms against the cold marble, waiting for tears that don't come. Instead, pressure hardens in my chest, like concrete filling my lungs. Heartbreak isn't abstract. It's physical. Each chamber contracts painfully, blood struggling to move. My sternum aches as though something presses against it. This is what dying feels like, I think. Not dramatic, just fading. That night, I lie awake in my childhood room, listening to Chelsea's laughter downstairs as she and my parents plan her first road trip in the new car. At 2:17 a.m., I finally sit up. I pack only what matters. My grandmother's faded stuffed bear, my college photo album, a wooden box with my first professional blueprint. The expensive gifts I had given them remain. They were never about gratitude. Anyway, the house is silent as I carry my suitcase downstairs. My house key rests cold in my hand before I leave it on the counter beside the coffee maker, set to brew in a few hours. They made their choice. Now I'm making mine. Streetlights blur as I drive through empty highways. The dashboard clock reads 3:42 a.m., Christmas morning. Snow thickens against the windshield as Bing Crosby sings about white Christmases. I twist the knob until silence fills the car. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I whisper to the empty passenger seat, my voice breaking. The word merry stings like acid. Through Portland's southern edge, my Toyota's heater struggles against the cold. 7 years old, 200,000 miles. This car carried me through college, jobs, and promotions. Unlike the BMW in my parents' driveway, this car earned its place in my life. Around 6, my phone buzzes. Mom's face lights up the screen. The message isn't, "Are you safe?" or "Please come home." Did you remember to pay the electric bill for the cabin before leaving Seattle? The same cabin bought for weekend trips, the one Chelsea now uses as a backdrop for her Instagram photos. A semi-truck roars past, spraying slush across my windshield. For 3 tense seconds, I can't see a thing until the wipers clear the view. My grip tightens on the wheel as memories rush in, faster than the wipers can keep up. My 5th birthday. Chelsea's princess-themed party. Professional decorations, pony rides, a 3-tier castle cake, and 30 neighborhood kids in party hats. The following year, my celebration was a sheet cake from the grocery store, 2 kindergarten friends, and supplies from the dollar bin. Your sister needs the social stimulation, Dad explained when I asked. You're more independent. Independent, their way of saying you don't need us. High school graduation, valedictorian. I gave a carefully written speech on persistence and dreams. Yet the family section sat half empty because Chelsea's junior varsity soccer team had an away game. We'll watch the recording, Mom promised. The VHS tape stayed unopened on my dresser until I left for college. Your sister needs encouragement, Mom said. You always succeed without our help. Without help, their way of saying, you're on your own. College years blur past as highway signs count down the miles to California. Working 25 hours a week at the campus bookstore and cafeteria, taking maximum course loads to graduate early. Stretching loans and scholarships while Chelsea traveled Europe to find inspiration, funded by our parents. Your sister needs to find herself, Dad explained during one of our rare calls. You've always known who you are. Known. Who I am, their way of saying, you don't deserve exploration. My phone buzzes again. Dad this time. I let it ring to voicemail. The horizon begins to lighten. Headlights blur into golden streaks through tears. I pull onto the shoulder. Hazards. Flashing, forehead pressed against the wheel. The pattern is suddenly clear. Dad controlled the finances, holding back from me while funding Chelsea's whims. Mom controlled emotions, making me feel selfish for needing even scraps of attention. Together, they created a perfect system, financial favoritism and emotional manipulation. The phone rings again. Not family. Monica Perez, my college roommate and closest friend. Where are you? Her voice, warm and concerned, fills the car through Bluetooth. Somewhere in Southern Oregon, I answer. My own voice hollow, unrecognizable. Heading south. To where? She asks. I don't know. After a pause. Come to San Francisco. Stay with me. Family doesn't treat family like this. Monica knows. She witnessed everything during college. The packages I received with basic supplies while Chelsea got designer clothes. The holidays I stayed in dorms because flights home were too expensive, while my parents took Chelsea to Aspen and Maui. I can't impose. Stop. Monica's voice grows firm. You've spent your whole life being the helper. Let someone help you for once. Her words break something open inside me. Help. A simple idea, yet so unfamiliar. In my family, help only flowed toward Chelsea. Never toward me. Okay, I whisper, surprising myself. Text me your location every hour. Drive safe. I'm making up the guest room. The call ends. I pull back onto the highway, snow cleared by the wipers. For the first time since leaving Portland, my shoulders loosen. By 7:30 a.m., I cross into California. The welcome sign gleams in the early sunlight. My phone shows 17 missed calls and 32 texts. Calmly, I mute notifications from Mom, Dad, and Chelsea. The silence feels heavier than their words. Hunger finally cuts through. I haven't eaten since Christmas Eve dinner. A small roadside diner appears ahead, its neon open sign glowing like a beacon. I park in the nearly empty lot. Inside, warmth wraps around me. Coffee fills the air, breakfast sizzles in the background. An older waitress with silver-streaked hair approaches, coffee pot in hand. Her name tag reads Gloria. "Rough night?" she asks, filling a mug without waiting. "Rough life," I mutter, instantly regretting the dramatics. Gloria doesn't hesitate. "Honey, I've been serving coffee for 40 years. I can recognize heartbreak." "Family or boyfriend?" "Family," I answer. She nods, sliding a menu across the counter. "Blood makes you related. Love and respect make you family." Her worn hand rests briefly on mine. "The special's good today. Extra bacon." I order the special, wrapping my hands around the warm mug. Gloria's words linger as I watch snowflakes dissolve against the glass. Blood makes you related. Love and respect make you family. For 34 years, I've been tied to the Collins family. Maybe now it's time to discover what true family feels like. 3 weeks later, I'm in San Francisco with a friend. My phone buzzes on the nightstand for the 13th time that morning. Dad's number. Again. I let it ring, then silence it. Another message added to the growing collection of unheard voicemails. The first week, they were confused. The second, concerned. By the third, the tone had shifted. Authority mixed with manipulation. "Iris Elizabeth Collins." Dad's voice booms in the latest voicemail. "Return this car immediately or I'll report it stolen. This childish behavior has gone on long enough." The Toyota. My Toyota. My name on the title. 7 years of payments made. I press a pillow against my stomach, swallowing the rising bitterness. Mom's message follows. "The doctor says my blood pressure is dangerously high because of the stress you're causing. Is that what you want? For me to end up in the hospital because you're being selfish?" I delete both messages, though my finger lingers on the I screen longer than I want to admit. Monica's spare bedroom feels unfamiliar yet comforting. The terracotta walls catch the light in a way my Seattle apartment never did. On the dresser, my laptop holds an email I've rewritten 14 times. "Dear Mr. Sanderson, I'm requesting a transfer to the San Francisco office, effective immediately." Before I can second-guess myself, I press send. No family favors, no hidden ties. Only my record, my reputation, my worth as a structural engineer. 3 hours later, approval arrives. Just like that. Proof that I can create my own path. "You got it?" Monica asks from the doorway, her curls framing a face filled with genuine happiness. The idea of someone celebrating me without making it about themselves feels new. I start Monday. "Already spoke to Andrea from book club." She grins. "She manages apartments in the Mission District. Rent control, safe building, 20 minutes from your office." "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." She cuts me off, dropping onto the bed. "Friends help friends, no strings." Her words land hard. No strings, no debts, no scorekeeping. The tears I've been holding back nearly break through. "I also booked you an appointment," Monica adds, placing a card on my laptop. "Dr. Elaine Levine, PhD, family therapy." "I'm not crazy," I whisper. "No," Monica replies gently. "But you've carried something heavy for too long. Maybe it's time to set it down." On Tuesday, Dr. Levine's office smells of lemon polish and old books. She waits in silence until I finally find the courage to speak. Favoritism, I say at last. The word hovers between us. All your life? She asks. Yes, and it made me feel worth exactly $2. Later that week, Andrea shows me a 650 square foot apartment with a west-facing window. Small but filled with sunlight. By nightfall, it's mine. I buy a futon, a lamp, and a desk. The emptiness feels intentional, like space to grow. That Saturday, Monica drags me to a pottery class. I resist until my hands sink into cool clay. The instructor, silver-haired and kind, whispers, "Don't force it. Listen to what it wants to become." By the end, I've made a small, uneven bowl, ugly and beautiful, but entirely mine. 4 weeks after Christmas, my first video call comes. I answer on the third ring, bracing myself for guilt. "Where have you been?" Dad demands, face red with anger. "Your mother has been worried sick." "I transferred to San Francisco," I reply, "without discussing it with us." Mom jumps in. "How could you be so inconsiderate?" The old urge rises. Apologize, smooth it over. But Dr. Levine's words return. "Your feelings are valid. Their reactions belong to them. I needed space. From family, from responsibility, from growing up?" Dad barks. "From feeling invisible," I answer steadily. "From being valued less than Chelsea. From chasing love that should have been freely given." Mom's tears flow on cue. "How can you say that? We've always loved you both the same." "I'm not responsible for your feelings anymore," I reply. "Only mine." Dad slams the table. "This conversation is over until you apologize." "Then we're done," I answer, and end the call. In the following days, rumors spread. Through LinkedIn and texts. I've had a breakdown. I'm living in squalor. I've joined a cult. Chelsea's Instagram shows curated concern, vague captions about family heartbreak, and prayers for those struggling. But at work, no. One knows this story. They see only my designs, my precision, my ideas. When Chelsea shows up at my office uninvited, Monica happens to be there. "She's in a meeting," Monica says firmly, "and she'll stay that way for unannounced visitors." On Wednesdays, I attend group therapy in a church basement. 8 Hasai. Strangers bound by shared wounds. "Family doesn't get a free pass just because they're family," says Raymond, a 60-year-old accountant estranged from his brother. "Love without respect isn't love. It's control." His words settle deep, undeniable truth. 6 months after Christmas, my apartment has transformed. Pottery fills the windowsills, each piece more refined than the last. A proper bed replaces the futon. My promotion to senior project manager has ended financial worry. On my bookshelf sits a plastic piggy bank filled with $2 bills, one for every week of freedom. Not punishment, but a reminder. Small betrayals often reveal the biggest truths. The holiday season approaches. No gifts wasted. No roles to perform, no diminishing of self. Just me, in a space I've built, learning to value who I am, worth far more than $2. A month later, the ivory envelope rests on my kitchen counter like a silent warning. For 3 days, I haven't touched it. Cousin Vanessa's wedding invitation, my name written in sweeping calligraphy, Iris Collins. No +1. Just me. Expected to return to the family circle alone. "So, what's your decision?" Dr. Winters asks, her chair creaking as she leans forward. I trace the brass tacks along the armrest one by one. "I'm going. Her eyebrows lift slightly. "That's different from last week." "On my own terms," I add quickly. "I've booked a room at the Hilton, 4 blocks from the venue." "Your father called twice?" "Yes," I say, smiling at the memory of ignoring his increasingly desperate voicemails. He wanted me to stay at their rental house. But the boundary itself is the message. 7 months of therapy has taught me how to name self-protection. 7 months. Since Christmas drove me away. 7 months of rebuilding. Through therapy sessions, pottery classes, and quiet evenings alone. During the session, my phone buzzes. Chelsea again. Her third text today. Can't wait to see you next weekend. We need sister time before the wedding. Chaos. I slip the phone back into my purse. Your sister again? Dr. Winters notices. Apparently, we're suddenly best friends. My laugh is hollow. She never reached out this much when we lived in the same city. What do you think she wants? A ride. Money. The old Iris. The one who carried her emotional baggage along with her luggage. I run my fingers across the midnight blue silk swatch in my lap, the fabric for the custom dress. 3 fittings to ensure it falls perfectly from my shoulders, shaping my curves unapologetically. The color of power, not reconciliation. They're recruiting, I tell Dr. Winters. Uncle Pete called about family unity. Aunt Judith emailed about forgiveness. Even Vanessa's fiancé messaged me on Facebook. They're all coordinated. And how does that feel? Before therapy, I would have said fine. Always fine. But now I listen to my body. The tightness in my throat. The sweat along my hairline. The tremor in my fingers. Terrified, I admit. But also, ready. Later that night, I spread the seating chart Vanessa mistakenly shared across my table. There I am, placed between my parents, directly across from Chelsea. The perfect family picture, forced back into place. I reach for my phone. Vanessa, it's Iris. I need a small change to the seating plan. Friday arrives with the San Francisco. Fog lifting as my plane heads north. Through the clouds, the landscapes of my childhood reappear. My pulse quickens as the plane descends into Portland. The rehearsal dinner glows against the twilight. On the sidewalk, I touch the stone pendant Monica gave me. Strength isn't about not feeling fear, she said. It's about walking forward despite it. I straighten my shoulders and push open the heavy wooden doors. Conversations freeze, faces turn. My mother clutches her throat. My father's drink pauses. Halfway, I've changed. The Iris who fled at Christmas was a shadow. This Iris, tailored black pants, emerald silk blouse, heels that echo with each step, is solid, present. My diamond studs catch the light as I nod calmly, not rushing toward anyone. Chelsea approaches first, arms open, but something about her is altered. The designer watch is gone, her hair roots are showing, her smile forced. You look incredible, she says, hugging briefly. Thank you, I reply, keeping distance. How's the BMW? Her eyes flicker. I traded it. Got a Honda. More practical. Behind her, my parents whisper with Aunt Martha. Mother dabs her eyes. Father slumps like I've never seen before. Cousin Tara slips to my side, vodka tonic in hand. Thank God you're here. The drama since Christmas. You wouldn't believe it. Your parents are selling the house. They say medical bills, but everyone knows they've been covering Chelsea for years. A waiter passes with champagne. I take a glass, watching bubbles rise and vanish. Just like family stories, what rises eventually bursts. Uncle Simon clasps my hand. You look well, Iris. That San Francisco job must suit you. Senior project manager now, I say, still adjusting to the title. His eyes widen. That's wonderful. Throughout the night, more relatives circle me. Michael admits he always saw how I was treated differently. Aunt Martha hugs too tightly, whispering that Dad lost his job and Mom is on medication. I absorb it all with the distance of someone standing safely above crashing waves. My father corners me later, bourbon heavy on his breath. Family sticks together, Iris. Always. His authority sounds fragile now. Does it? I meet his eyes. Or do some stick together while others are cast aside? His face reddens. We've always supported you. $2 in a piggy bank. My voice is steady, quieter than I expect, but sharp. That was your idea of support. He falters, then turns away. In the ladies' room, my mother appears, tears in her eyes. We miss you so much, she whispers, reaching for my hand. I rinse the soap from my fingers. I miss who I thought you were, too. Back on the terrace, Chelsea pulls me aside. The evening air smells of roses. The BMW was repossessed. She blurts. I'm drowning in debt. Clients disappeared. Dad can't help anymore. Her voice cracks. I don't know how to do this, Iris. I never learned how to stand alone. Her confession hangs heavy between us. 7 months ago, I would have immediately offered solutions, money, and a place to stay. The old Iris would have absorbed this as yet another responsibility. Now I gently place my hand on her arm. That sounds really hard, Chelsea. I offer compassion without taking responsibility, a distinction I learned after months of therapy. I'm sorry you're going through that. Her eyes widen slightly at my response. Compassion without rescue. I can help you make a budget, I suggest, but I can't fix this for you. Over her shoulder, I notice Vanessa in her pre-wedding glow, surrounded by bridesmaids. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges. But tonight, standing on this terrace with the weight of family expectations sliding off my shoulders like water, I realize I am no longer afraid. I am the woman who walked away from a lifetime of diminishment and built a life from the ground up. Whatever comes next, I'll face it standing firmly on my own ground. The next morning, I stand in the Magnolia Gardens bridal suite, watching my cousin Vanessa transform from a nervous bride into a radiant woman. Sunlight pours through tall windows, casting a warm glow that contrasts with the storm in my chest. Iris, your parents are looking for you, Aunt Martha whispers, her hand gentle on my forearm. They're in the library. Said it's important. Expected this moment. 7 months since I left their Portland home, leaving only a note and a lifetime of resentment. Thanks, Martha, I reply calmly. I'll find them after helping Vanessa with her veil. They mentioned a family emergency before the ceremony, she says. Of course. 30 minutes later, the library door feels impossibly heavy as I open it. Mom sits rigid in a high-backed chair, tissues in hand. Dad paces by the fireplace, his movements sharp. Chelsea stands by the window in a dress more expensive than my first month's rent in San Francisco, though the repossessed BMW is absent. Iris, thank God. We need to talk as a family, Mom says, rising, arms outstretched. I pause in the doorway. The ceremony starts in 40 minutes. Sit down, Iris. Dad gestures to an empty chair arranged to face them. A staged intervention. Chelsea steps forward. Iris, this has gone too far. Dad lost his job 3 months ago. The company downsized, Dad interrupts, budget cuts. Mom's been seeing a therapist for depression, Chelsea continues. This all started when you left at Christmas. We're selling the house. 7 months ago, I would have crumpled under the weight of their expectations, apologized, and tried to fix everything. Today, I walk to the chair, set my purse down, and sit tall. I'm sorry about your job, Dad. Mom, I'm glad you're getting help. Confusion crosses their faces. Didn't you hear us? Chelsea raises her voice. We're selling the house because of you. No, I say calmly. You're selling it because of choices made long before I left. I pull a leather-bound photo album from my purse. I brought something to show you. Mom frowns. We don't have time. You called this meeting, I interrupt, opening the album on my lap. The first page shows 2 birthday parties side by side. Chelsea's extravagant princess theme with hired entertainers, and mine the same year, with a grocery store cake at the kitchen table. I flip through pages of Christmas mornings, graduations, and family vacations. The pattern of favoritism undeniable. Months of effort went into compiling evidence of what I always suspected, but could never prove. Dad's face flushes. This is ridiculous. We always treated you girls equally. I lay out bank statements. My student loans, $67,000 still unpaid. Chelsea's education, fully funded, including a year abroad. That's not fair, Chelsea mutters. You chose engineering. That was your decision. It was my passion, I correct. Just like art was yours. The difference is, my passion wasn't considered worth investing in. Mom rises, hands trembling. We didn't have the money then. I learned everything about your financial records years ago. I cut her off. Dad's promotion came when I was 16. Grandma's inheritance arrived before my freshman year. You had the money. You chose not to spend it on me. Silence falls as I lay out birthday cards spanning 30 years. Messages to Chelsea overflow with love. Mine are practical advice and reminders to work hard. Dad finally admits, defensively cracking, you were always so capable. Being capable didn't mean I deserved less love. My voice stays steady. Being responsible didn't mean I should carry everyone else's burdens. Mom collapses into genuine tears. We never meant to hurt you. Intent doesn't erase impact. I reach into my purse one last time and place a plastic piggy bank on the coffee table. What is this? Dad asks. I remove the stopper. Dozens of crisp $2 bills spill out. I've saved a $2 bill every week since Christmas. This isn't about money. It's about what you thought I was worth. Chelsea turns one over in her fingers. I never realized how it looked from your side. Outside, relatives pass by, voices drifting through the heavy door. Minutes from now, they'll gather to celebrate love while our family confronts decades of absence. I don't want apologies, I say, standing. I want change. I'll consider reconciliation under 2 conditions: family therapy and respect for my boundaries. Dad opens his mouth to argue, but Mom places a hand on his arm. We'll do it, she says. Whatever it takes. I gather my evidence and the piggy bank, leaving its contents on the table. That's yours to keep. Reminder of what happens when one child is valued over another. As I walk toward the door, hand on the knob, I remember I need my seat for the ceremony. Monica has saved me a place. My back is straight, my heart lighter than it's been in months. I hear Chelsea whisper, she's different now. She's right. The woman who left that Christmas carrying only grief is gone. In her place stands someone who knows her worth isn't measured by what others think she deserves, but by what she refuses to accept. On Christmas, sunlight spills across the hardwood floors of my San Francisco apartment. Friends gather around a table that actually belongs to me. The scent of rosemary and sage from the turkey mingles with real laughter that wasn't possible in my parents' house. To Iris, Monica raises her glass, her dark curls catching the sunlight. Who builds bridges better than anyone I know, at work and in life? My cheeks warm at the toast. 1 year ago today, I placed a house key on a counter and drove away from everything familiar. Now I stand in an apartment filled with people who choose to be here, surrounded by pottery I shaped with my own hands. To Senior Project Manager Collins, Elliot adds, his fingers brushing mine under the table. His touch sparks a quiet electricity. Not the sudden thrill of infatuation, but a steady current hinting at permanence. Whose team completed the Richardson Tower project 2 weeks early? Elliot knows deadlines and structural integrity. An environmental engineer, he values sustainability in both buildings and relationships. When he invited me for coffee 6 months ago, I almost said no. Old habits of self-sacrifice die hard. My therapist, Dr. Winters, called it progress when I finally said yes. The kitchen timer chimes, giving me a reprieve from acknowledging praise. Some changes take longer than others. Need help? Elliot asks, following me into the kitchen. I've got it, I say automatically. Then I pause, recalling Dr. Winter's gentle reminder. Accepting help doesn't weaken you. Actually, could you carve the turkey? I never learned. My phone vibrates with a video call from Chelsea, our monthly boundary set after the wedding confrontation. I answer as Elliot handles the carving. Merry Christmas, Chelsea says, her face filling the screen. Her apartment looks smaller than mine. No designer furniture, no luxury car parked outside. Working 2 jobs has reshaped her view of money, along with the shadows under her eyes. You look happy, she says softly. Your place feels like home. I tilt the camera to show my pottery studio in the spare bedroom. Once formless clay now stands as bowls and vases lining the shelves. How are Mom and Dad? I ask. Dad's 90 days sober today. He wanted me to tell you, she replies, showing him in a modest living room, looking smaller somehow. The AA meetings help. He's different when he's not drinking. I nod, not ready to fully process it. And Mom? Still volunteering at the community center. She wanted to join but had an emergency food drive. Chelsea pauses. They ask? About you, not in the old way though. We talk a few more minutes before saying goodbye. The wall clock signals it's time for dinner. Around my table, conversation flows between Monica, Elliot, and friends from work and pottery class. No one mentions the piggy bank on my mantle, now filled with dollars representing lessons rather than resentment. After dessert, Chelsea texts a photo of a handmade clay ornament, her first attempt. Not perfect, but made with love. She'll mail it tomorrow. Another message arrives from Mom. Found this in the attic while downsizing. It always belonged to you. Attached is my childhood dollhouse, the one thing I truly loved growing up. Beneath it, the deed transfer paperwork officially makes it mine. Later, after everyone leaves and Elliot helps with the last dishes, I step onto the balcony. San Francisco Bay stretches before me, bridge lights reflected in the dark water. Buildings. I helped design rise against the night sky. Worth isn't something you earn through usefulness, I whisper to the city lights. It's something you claim by knowing what you will and won't accept. Elliot joins me, draping a blanket around my shoulders against the December chill. Deep thoughts? Just grateful, I answer, leaning into his warmth. Sometimes the greatest gift is realizing what you won't accept anymore. Through the window, the piggy bank gleams, not as a symbol of what I lacked, but as proof I finally valued myself first.